When it comes to photo editing, sharpening is one of the hardest thing that you can actually do. And this is because there are so many different techniques out there and available for you to choose from that it's kind of hard to wrap your head around which one is the best. Well, I'm not going to tell you which one is the best today, but I'm going to tell you about one of the techniques that maybe you haven't heard about before. It's called LAB sharpening, and it's utilizing the LAB color space to sharpen. The sharpening itself will just be the general unsharp mask, but we'll be doing it in LAB color space. And if you're new to the LAB color space, what I want you to do is go to Image, and I want to go to Mode, and then make sure it's switched to LAB color. LAB stands for, instead of RGB, stands for reds, greens, and blues. But LAB stands for lightness, and then A and B. So A and B represent different colors, B being blue and yellow, A being magenta, and kind of a greenish tint. Well, what you want to do here is, because we have lightness on one specific channel, we can sharpen the lightness channel and then get a richer sense, because we're sharpening the black and white, not the color. We won't have to worry about any artifacts in the color when we sharpen it. So I want to, instead of going into the layers panel, I want to make sure I am in channels and that I select lightness. So I don't want LAB together. I don't want A, I don't want B, but I want lightness in full. What I want to do here is, of course, go to Filter, and then I want to go Sharpen and Unsharp Mask. In here, and maybe it's gonna be hard to see because it's video. But let me zoom in. I think 100 will absolutely have to do here. But if I increase this way much here, maybe increase the radius just a tad, you're gonna see major on the preview here. So let's see. We're gonna see some difference, I think. Let's see. Yes, there's a difference definitely for you. So you see the difference between the first one, which is kind of soft, and then the second one, which has that punch of detail in it. So if I now click OK, we've kind of over sharpened this image, but for display purposes, I think it's going to show that we've indeed gotten quite a bit of sharpness here in the lightning channel. And if I just undo this, and if I go to File and revert the file to when I started with it, and instead just forget about LAB right now, it's in RGB, and I'm going to go to Filter, Sharpen and Unsharp Mask, and apply the same one. Because I'm not switching back and forth, it's going to be really hard to see, but in essence, in some more complex photos than this one, we are going to see a lot more, perhaps better sharpening in some of the areas where we're not getting any artifacts in the color. So LAB sharpening, switching to LAB color mode, and then sharpening on the lightness channel will give you some really good sharpening.